I'm Sasha, the Princess of Darkness. I just figured I'd do a little live stream for you, throw in a little sexiness, and see how everything's going with everybody. So, if you guys have any questions to ask someone like myself, or, you guys want to chat, or you want to talk, I'm here all night. By all means, I may do a little bit of YouTube later for basically like live streaming purposes, maybe some Twitch. I'm going to let it up to you guys, so definitely let me know what you all want to do, and we'll definitely go from there. See if I can't get this other one. It's so weird trying to work with a camera. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I feel challenged trying to knock my own signs down. Anyways, guys, I just figured I would say howdy and see how everybody's doing tonight. So thank you for joining us. I see that we do have another person in the room. Howdy, how's it going? If you want to message me, you can message me. I've got the phone here, it'll pop up. I don't know why the second screen's not working. Like sometimes you can do second screen where I can get rid of this shit music that's playing. But today I can't, and I have no idea as to why. I'm like trying, and of course it's just saying second screen. So no clue as to why that is. Normally it lets you do a whole second screen thing. And I know as soon as I exit out of second screen, it's going to be just nasty to me and be all like, eh. By the way, yes, I'm still fighting the head cold, so yes, I sound like crap as well. Of course, I always do. So, that's how it is. So, if you guys have any questions, shoot me a message. You guys know how to shoot messages on here. You guys do it all the time. I've got the phone right here, so we can hear you ask your question. So, type away with them busy fingers. And I see 4 people with us now. Howdy, welcome, and thanks for joining us. I usually talk horror movies on YouTube. I usually talk... I usually do reviews, I do stuff on Twitch, I do stuff on YouTube, I do stuff everywhere. And I always like to rock a little sexiness, just give you something for eye candy, because that's just how it goes. I am the first and only ever transgender horror hostess that's out there. Yes, we're very low budget, as you can see, but hey, we can mess around with a PlayStation and have fun with it. But looks like we got a question. Somebody just sent me a message. Let's see what we got. Hi.
Hey, sexy.
Well, hi back, Barrett Martin. Yeah, if you guys have any questions to ask somebody who's like me, like I said, I am a transgender woman, if you can't figure that out. Of course, the head cold doesn't help. But, yeah, if you have any questions, definitely I love the compliments. Again, thank you for joining. But anyways, yeah, if you have any questions, you want to ask me anything, try to keep it somewhat appropriate. That way we don't have to monitor and boot people. But if you guys want to talk horror movies, we can talk horror movies, we can talk video games. Like I said, I may live stream some stuff here in a little bit. I don't know yet, just depends on how the evening goes. If you guys want to see something on Twitch, let me know. If you guys would rather see something on YouTube, which is what this is currently on as a live stream, so... Definitely, feel free to say, hey, I want to see you play Ghostbusters again, or I want to see this, or if you're just happy looking at this. So, if that's how it goes. But anyways, you guys can hear me, right? So if someone throw me a message, let me know audio's coming in through clear, because I know last time I was on here, there was some audio issues. So if you guys can hear me, say, hey, we can hear you. Bitch, we can hear you. So, yeah, just talking life, just talking bullshit, and pissing off some people, because that's how life goes. Recently, if you guys follow me on Facebook or YouTube or Tumblr, Instagram, Twitter, whatever I'm on, you guys will know I've had some issues with people throwing a fit.
Are you pre-op or post-op?
Well, it's a little personal. Thing of it is I'm pre. I have had some hormones, I've had some things of that nature. Most of this is actually just me. I do have some makeup on and some special effects going on, but that's all it is. And those type of surgeries are not cheap unless you go to prison and you get them for free. Can you believe that? People go to jail and they get the surgeries. People get the surgeries like overnight when basically they're multi-millionaires, and it makes no damn sense to me whatsoever. And people just have this unrealistic expectation of, hey, you're supposed to get this and have it done, but it's not something that's done overnight. Unless somebody's got 10 grand lying around and wants to fly me off to Thailand, by all means. But the thing of it is that it's not done overnight. If you do it stateside and you do it quote unquote legally, you've got to go through years of psychiatric exam, hormone treatments, everything else before they can even say you'll basically, get the surgery. And it's funny because when it comes to the surgery, like, how can I put it best? You can get like one of these, like a tattoo, no questions asked. Nobody goes to you, well, here's all these extra forms.
Disgusting.
Well, whatever, dude. You can have that. You have the option to leave. But especially with that name, good God, this dude's handle. Anyways, so we'll just mute the volume on that because some of y'all are gonna get filed, but that's all right. We know how to take care of that. But anyhow, good questions all around. But the surgery is just one of those things. You got to go through all this craziness. It's going to take at least 7 to 8 years before you can have it done. And that's where a lot of the problems come into play. Because people don't get that it's not something you just go in and see your doctor or physician for and have this on. But, it is what it is. And, no, this is not a guy. I'm transgender. There's a little bit difference to that. But nice try there, Shannon. See, you guys don't bug me. I could give 2 fucks. So, anyways, yeah, if you want to make a change to your body like that, they don't basically make it easy for you. You gotta go through all kinds of craziness. Like I said, it's not like getting a tattoo, even though we all know that these are permanent. So, it is what it is. So, anyways, any other questions other than, the usual trolls and assholes in the room? Because y'all are still watching, y'all are still helping me boost numbers, so what have it. The most powerful thing you can do if you don't like something is to be quiet and leave. Think about that for a second. No, you're just dreaming. But the thing of it is that's how nice. People were more than just legs and tits, by the way, so no. Sorry. You guys might have came into the wrong room. Such is life. We'll knock this down for y'all. I always find that entertaining. I got 19 people so far. Any real questions without the insults? So far we've had one good real question from Spyman13, and I think some of these users are kind of funny. But questions. Or what game would you like me to see play tonight, or see me play tonight? Like I said, options are Ghostbusters. We've got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We have, let me see, I recently picked up The Park, which is a horror game, which is kind of along the appropriate lines. And yes, it's Pikachu, and we're here on the PlayStation Network. How fun is that? Why do you have that handle? I don't get that. It makes no sense. Grow up. Let's see. Bear with me here. So, any other questions before we play something else here? Well, that's the thing. I'm what's known as pansexual. To me, gender doesn't really play a role, nor does appearance, nor does anything else. And I know a lot of people are like, well, isn't that bi? Bi is a little different. I see people. I don't see gender. I don't see race. I don't see anything of that nature. Right now, I'm primarily dating men. I have been with women. I do have 3 kids. So, yeah, it's just the way it is. But, I'm what's known as pansexual. And, again, it's like, you don't see gender. You don't see appearance. You don't see anything out of that ordinary. You actually see people for people. And you see the reality of it. Granted, some of you all wear that shit easily on your sleeve, where the rest of you, it's interesting, actually, look underneath the layers and see the people for the people. And that's how I am. So when people ask me, do you like boys or girls? My answer is yes. Either way. Shannon, you're not going to get at me. It's nothing I haven't heard before, honey child. Please. Yeah, my kids are absolutely fine with this. My son is very adapted. Obviously, I don't do this in front of my kids because that's fucking crazy. But, you know, I wear what I want to wear. I am who I am. And my kids would rather me be happy than a depressed mess. Because let's be honest, anybody in my community usually has, you know, suicidal thoughts or suicidal tendencies or anything of that nature. Whereas if you get to express who you are and you get to be who you want to be, you get to be open and honest. And it's nice. It's very refreshing. And so the kids get to see the positive aspect, you know. To them, I'm still me, you know. I granted have a new label and I look a little different, but I'm still me. I'm still a good parent. Well, see, Jazz Raz, that's the thing. You know, it has nothing to do with being straight or gay. Because, see, I identify as female. So if I identify as female and you identify as male and you find this attractive, where's the problem? You know, it's all up in your head. Everybody has labels for everything. You know, that's the problem with the world, is labels. Everything's got to be labeled. Everything's got to have a label to it to basically have some sort of power or influence over it. Why put a label on something? Labels make no damn sense. Labels are ridiculous. Why have them? You know, it's so terrible because we don't look at people anymore. We say, oh, that's a white man. Oh, that's a black man. When did we just stop being that and start being people? That's when we're going to have like world peace and people getting along, is when people just start to look at people, not their race, not their gender, not their sexuality, but actually look at people. So, you know, saying things like that kind of puts it out on the wall. You like what you like. You like what's aesthetically pleasing. And there's nothing wrong with that. And that's true. To each their own. And that's how life is. And there's nothing absolutely wrong with that. You know, different strokes, different folks. And I'm not trying to convince anybody, and I don't have my agenda on here trying to say, hey, let me recruit you into the gay nation. But the thing of it is that's how it goes. What is it that I host? I do basically a YouTube show where I review horror movies primarily. I do basically things like, for example, you know, like old school 80s slashers. Well, not like the more like the stuff that everybody's like mainstream and familiar with, like Friday the 13th, things of that nature, but like some of the more low-key titles like Intruder or Ritual or things of that nature. And I'll discuss it, and I kind of put that stuff into the limelight. I'll also discuss things like, for example, when the new Ghostbusters came out, everybody was starting to fit that it wasn't like the 1980s Ghostbusters. But what few people know is that there was a Ghostbusters before that from 1975 by Filmation. And I just find that hilarious because I'm like, okay, you guys are complaining about a film that's a remake, essentially another remake. Because believe it or not, at the time, Columbia and Sony had to buy the rights from Filmation to even use the name for the Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd comedy. Few people know that. No, see, I identify as a woman. I've always identified as female. And it's not gay. You know, granted, yes, pansexual falls underneath the whole LGBTQIA situation. You know, things of that nature. And for you all who are complaining how I'm dressed, you know what? I've got like over 50, 60 views right now. I'm sorry to say, honey child, but sex sales. And the thing of it is that you're watching, you're still here. The most powerful thing you can do is leave. Or say nothing at all. You can find me on there. It's the Princess of Darkness. Sasha, the Princess of Darkness, hence the logo, as you can see right here. This logo, by the way, is done by one of my friends, Johnny Blaze, out of Tennessee. He does a lot of pinup art, things of that nature. So you can find a lot of episodes on there. I do basically Daily Darkness, where I kind of discuss day-to-day things. Sadly, it's not as daily as it should be. I did spend a good week in the hospital recently. My thyroid pretty much tried to kill me. That's par for the course for me. Health has not been one of my greatest assets in my young years, let's put it that way. But yeah, I try to do it as often as I can. Maybe once a week, maybe once every other week, sometimes more often than that. So it is what it is. But it's, I do Daily Darkness, where basically we discuss things about being transgender, where we talk about day-to-day life. Lately I've been doing a lot of Fego reviews for some odd reason, because it's cheap and it's there. And then on top of that, I review all kinds of movies. I also do something called The Tourist of Terror and the Saturday Morning Serial Killers, where we review old school 80s cartoons and 80s pop culture. So that's on there as well. And Jazz Raz, it's okay. It's not for you. You don't have to understand it. And that's perfectly fine. That's variety is the spice of life. Talk slower. How much slower do you need me to talk? I know my voice is kind of shit at the moment because, hell, it's the way that it is. By the way, did that answer your question, Skookum Trooper? See, your insults, I just could give two shits less about. Because again, you're watching, you're interacting. The most powerful thing you can do is leave. Yeah, tell me about it, Mr. Skeletal. It's the way it is. Some people are just ignorant. They are going to wear that ignorance on their sleeve for the rest of their life. Most likely, Trump voters. They're going to be celebrating by the end of the month, just to realize that they all got fucked over in the end. So, Team A's, what movies do you want to talk about? What movie interests you? Throw me a topic. I'll talk about that shit all day. So, waiting, Team A's. What movie you got for me? Have any of you seen the most recent train wreck, which is the new Ghostbusters from 2016? Ah, sci-fi. Have you ever seen Star Crash? David Hasselhoff. Classic. It's a Star Wars ripoff. They actually have erector set robots. There's a lightsaber battle. Yeah, there's this prison where, I kid you not, all the fuggos wear robes and like the hot chicks run around in skimpy bikinis. It is the greatest movie you'll ever watch. It's part of the Roger Corman collection. If you get a chance, definitely check it out. Amazon has it fairly cheap. I know it was on YouTube recently, and I think Netflix may have it still, but it's called Star Crash, and it is so good. If you like the old 70s or 80s, like drive-in movie rip-offs that they used to do all the time, it's got a very Italian feel to it, but it's so freaking weird. You got a drunken Texas robot. Like, who the hell would program a robot that's drunk and Texan at the same time? Oh yeah, it's very cool. It's like one of my favorites. It's like constantly in my rotation. I watch a ton of movies. That is a great flick. Roger Corman was the man. If you've seen any of his stuff, you'll know. I like a lot of the sci-fi that's horror as well. Alien Covenant or Prometheus. Prometheus I was kind of upset about with Prometheus. To me, everybody says engineer. To me, it was the space jockey. Prometheus kind of took a great idea and ruined it. Because with the space jockey, you had no idea why he was hauling these creatures in the original Alien. You had no idea as to why, basically, the ship was full of xenomorphs. You just had no idea what was the point of him being there. And Prometheus kind of ruined that. It's a horrible joke I like to make, but I think Ridley Scott's brother jumped off that bridge because he didn't want him making Top Gun 2. I'm an asshole, deal with it. But, we got Blade Runner 2 coming now, and it's like, Ridley, stop going back to the well. If you want to make something original. Gladiator was a great film, but, stop going back to the well. Stop going to the franchises. I'm not all that excited for Alien Covenant, and it's funny because they didn't go with the Prometheus title. They went with Alien Covenant. Why? Because they know, basically, that a Prometheus-titled movie's not going to sell. And so that's why they went with the Alien franchise. And it's going to be interesting. I'll watch it. I'll give it its day in court, but I don't think it's going to be good. But the other thing too is I don't know if you've heard about it, but Neil Blomkamp, he wants to make an official like 5th Alien movie. He's working with Sigourney Weaver currently, and they've been discussing like kind of like retconning out 3 and Alien Resurrection. And I think it's funny because everybody always picks on Alien 3 and Alien Resurrection, when in reality we wouldn't have those movies be as crap as they are if it wasn't for Sigourney Weaver. Weaver kind of ruined that for a lot of people. Alien 3 originally, the original script, was done by David Twohy. That name sounds really familiar. It involved a cargo ship that crash lands into a planet full of the xenomorphs. And the kicker is that when that ship crash lands, a prisoner that was aboard the cargo ship escapes, and people suddenly wind up dying, and of course the prisoner gets blamed for it, and it's xenomorphs. Now, does that plot sound familiar? Yes, it does. Because it was a rejected script from Alien 3 that became pitch black. And few people know that. I mean, imagine it. Riddick killing aliens. I would watch that shit all day. But because Sigourney Weaver wanted to end her contract because it was a 3-movie deal, they went with the whole prison planet thing, and it evolved. Originally it was monks on a wooden weird spaceship, and then it became the whole prison planet due to like budget, and yeah, it's just a whole clusterfuck for that movie. And then of course with Alien Resurrection, again Weaver's like, oh yeah, well my contract's done, but you know, I'm part of this franchise, I need to be in the next movie, and it's like, bitch, we killed you in the last one, how are we gonna do that? And Joss Whedon went through so many rewrites of that script, it was sad. There was a lot of really good plot elements that never saw light of day. In fact, there was actually supposed to be 2 clones of Ripley running around in that film, but it didn't happen. One that was genetically pure, it was still human, and then the hybrid. And they were going to bounce off of each other. Now you can see how that one character became an android, and then of course the other one became the hybrid Ripley because of costs and budgets because of that. Actually, Corey, I gotta take that as a compliment. Thank you. And I don't think he's going to finish the saga. I think Ridley Scott is exploring other elements of the saga. It's kind of like a shared universe kind of thing, like what Marvel's doing. It happens in the same universe. So as a result, yeah, it's definitely interesting. How about now? I'm going to wear what I want. You can leave. You know, whatever makes you happy. No thanks, Corey. I'm good. Shannon on occasion, but because of your attitude, not you. Sorry, I have a child. And especially with that name Shannon, I gotta kind of question some things. I smell redhead, pale, ginger, fire crotch. So, what other film questions do you have? I kind of went off onto a tangent about Alien, things of that nature. I don't know if you guys saw the live cast last night of me playing the new Ghostbusters game. Don't pay retail for it. Redbox has it for dirt, flipping cheap. So if you guys want to actually find something that you guys enjoy that's like Ghostbuster related, just on PS3 play the, what is it, like 2007, 2009 Ghostbusters video game. That one was actually really good. But this one that's from 2016, it's like a dungeon crawler. Kind of reminds me of like those Gauntlet games from like, what was it? Early 2K, late 90s that you found in the arcades. It's not so good, but it is what it is. It was kind of fun, but considering I only paid $10 for it, it's worth $10. It's not worth $49.99. Well, that's the thing, Mr. Skeletal. I mean, Ghostbusters in 2016, they tried to do something different. And they tried to market it wrong. You know, they tried to use the whole fandom thing with, you know, the fans throwing a fit that they didn't want to see it and everything else to try to advertise it. And I think that's what kind of blew up in its face. I'm not saying it's a good movie. It's serviceable as a movie. It does have its moments. It's not great. It's not like that lightning in the bottle that we got with the first one. And I think that's what a lot of people were trying to hope for with 2016. They were hoping that it was going to be like the whole Bill Murray joint, but in reality, you're never going to get that again. The video game, however, was our Ghostbusters 3. If you've not played it, you need to play it. You know, it's just one of those things. What do I think of the Independence Day franchise? The Independence Day franchise, I haven't seen the sequel. I just recently picked up the sequel. I don't know how that's going to turn out. It's a little too late, in my opinion. I mean, you got to strike while the iron's hot with these kind of things. You know, it's one thing to have a sequel like 2-3 years down the road, but it's another to do it like 10 years later. Now, there's sometimes when it can be completely original, like, for example, Halloween 20 years later. That was really cool because it kept H1 and H2 and then retconned all the rest of the shit out. And then you had H2O, which was basically, you know, a follow-up. And I like that. Don't get me started on Halloween Resurrection, because Jamie Lee getting hacked to pieces like that right at the beginning of the movie. No thanks. I'm good. Well, please, get off theirs. I can help you shuffle along. We got all kinds of wonderful things to help you do that. There's a big-ass machete back here. I'd be more than glad to help you out. Oh, lovely. Lovely language. Shows your intelligence. What is your take on the latest economical collapse of Japan? Huh. Well, I love horror movies. Politics and, you know, finance are not my thing. Otherwise, I wouldn't be living in a crappy fallout shelter. So, next question. Yeah, it was a mediocre summer blockbuster. Now, I don't know if you've seen it yet. I want to see it, Shin Godzilla, since dude brings up Japan. Shin Godzilla looked like basically a great film. I know it kind of reinvented the genre itself. So, I don't know how a lot of people feel about it. I'm curious about picking it up when it comes out. And basically, you know, when it comes out on DVD, because I didn't get a chance to go see it in the cinemas. But it looks like it's an awesome flick and it's an awesome retelling. It goes with the whole ecological scare as opposed to, you know, man undoing itself. Because that was something that was so powerful about the original one. Basically dealing with the aftermath of Hiroshima and the bombs dropping. And definitely creating something new. I don't know if they touch on the whole Fukushima incident or not. I kind of hope that they do. I mean, they kind of did with the American remake. I kind of figure that they probably take their own different take on it. But still, I'm kind of curious about Shin itself. Yeah, Rogue One was good. I'm still processing it. It's one of those films that I'm going to have to see. Like, for example, what the next installment's going to be like. I know they're going to do basically the new Han Solo movie. It's coming out not this year because we're getting another chapter. We're getting episode 8 at the end of the year, but we're getting a Han Solo film. And I heard that the Glover kid that's going to be in it, that comedian, what is his name? Because everybody wanted him to be Spider-Man back in the day. Fuck, the comedian, young man. They wanted him to be Spider-Man. Everybody got pissed off. He made jokes about a white shaft. Fuck. I'm trying to think of it. And Shannon, again, whatever your wet fantasies are, if immolation's your thing, please go to the local petrol station and take care of that problem. What's your local repertory cinema? Well, we have like a really shitty Carmike, if that's what you mean. We got a Carmike cinema here in where I live. It's at a mall that's pretty much dying. So anytime you go to the cinema there, it's basically pretty quiet. You don't have great seating or things of that nature. It's not like we have an Alamo or something of that nature, like sitting right near it, which would be awesome if we had an Alamo, which we don't. Alamo, like the closest one, is still like a good maybe an hour, hour and a half away. If you don't know what the Alamo is, it's a draft house. You can go there, you can get a steak, you can get a beer, watch your film, sit back on a plush chair, and enjoy your movie. And it's brilliant. It's definitely worth something of checking out if you've not seen, basically an Alamo. Definitely worth checking out. It's comfortable. It's got a bar in it. Hell, it's the greatest way to go to the cinema. You know how everybody says dinner and a movie? This takes care of both all at once. So, why do I like scary movies? Scary movies comes like to the whole primal-esque of being afraid, like being, having fear in your life. You ever been scared, like when you were little? It gives you a rush afterwards. It's also about survival, because you get to see something scary and you get to walk away from it. And that you somehow overcome it by seeing it. And then there's the lasting horror that basically like sticks with you. Like there's some good movies out there that don't end on a positive note, that you're seeing something where it just leaves that chill in the back of your spine. And I've always enjoyed it. Now granted, a lot of modern horror isn't really scary. Few things have I seen that's scary. Like for example, I read Chuck Hogan and Guillermo del Toro's book, The Strain series. They're got some really creepy, chill elements to it that the TV show unfortunately didn't pick up on. Granted, the TV show's still good, but I don't know, there's just something about reading it and it sticking in the back of your head. And it's kind of like watching The Watchers and then reading the book by Dean R. Koontz. The book is much more powerful. And the film itself's watered down. Of course, it's a Corman film, so it's going to be watered down because it's low budget. But it's, horror is, what it is. I mean, it's that scare, it's that thrill, it's that facing death, and, you get that charge from it. Okay. Am I high? Well, considering I've eaten a lot of cold medicine today because I sound like shit, and then there's my heart pill on top of it, probably not a good combo. It probably does have me buzzing a little bit. But it's all OTC and what my doctor prescribed me. My dad's been dead for ages, honey child, and thank God for that. The Original Thing, that's one of my favorite movies, actually. Well, not The Original Thing. Because keep in mind, you did have that one from, I want to say, what was it, the early 40s or 50s, called The Thing from Another Planet, which was John Carpenter's inspiration. Because after John Carpenter saw that movie, he read the short story by Campbell called Who Goes There? And he wanted to basically learn more. And when he read the short story and compared it to the film, he's like, hey, this is a completely different critter. So he decided to make his own take of the story and adapt it more honestly, more purely, more straight up. And that's something that rarely happens. And it was great. Now, the downside of it is of course, it was the 80s. A lot of people, when it came out in the cinema, it came out the same opening weekend as E.T. What are you going to see? The friendly, alien movie with your kids? Or are you going to see the creepy, scary monster movie? And it got critically panned because nobody knew what to do with it. It was that pure definition of a film that was before its time. Which is something that's frequent with Carpenter, and I think a lot of people are trying to realize that now. That's why they're trying to remake Big Trouble in Little China. They're trying to remake Escape from New York. They're trying to remake a lot of his hits to kind of bring it back because they're realizing, hey, wait, this guy did something that was brilliant and it was oft overlooked. And, guy's a genius, come on, he's working on the Fear games. He's, actually gone online. He games, I don't know if you guys found him on PlayStation Network or not, but John Carpenter is out there. And the man's brilliant. He does his own music, he does his own score. But The Thing is a great film because there was tension to it. I mean, simply put, it's an easy plot. You got a bunch of guys that are stuck in the middle of nowhere. You got a storm coming in where they can't reach the outside world as is, and of course, it's Antarctica. And you throw in this alien creature, you got paranoia, you don't know who's who and who's what, and it was great. I don't know if you played the video game, Carpenter considers that the actual sequel, So if you've ever seen the video game, I think it was on PS2 and original Xbox, I might be wrong, but worth checking out. It definitely has its own thrills and chills, and it's great. It has like a trust meter where you got to get your companions and everybody to trust you, and it's brilliant. So definitely check that out. A lot of people pan on basically the Thing prequel that they did recently, and a lot of people don't know that it's a prequel. It's not a remake. The studio just didn't know what to call it. That's why they called it The Thing, when it should have been something like The Thing Begins, or hell, go for the original classic title, The Thing from Another Planet, or hell, The Thing Who Goes There. I would have watched that because it takes place in the Norwegian camp, and it actually shows you shot by shot as to what happened in the Norwegian camp. However, the film got ruined. The most recent, like I said, most recent prequel that they made, because they took all the practical effects out. They changed the ending. They changed all kinds of crazy shit with it, and it's not the film that we were supposed to get. And it's funny because some of the practical effects that weren't used wound up going into a completely other movie known as Harbinger Down. If you've not seen that, that's a classic. It's a very The Thing-esque kind of movie meets Virus. If you've ever seen Virus with Jamie Lee Curtis, it's worth checking out. It's called Harbinger Down. I know it was on Netflix a while back ago. It shouldn't be too hard to find. It's a brilliant film. Oh, you like the ambiguous ending to The Thing? Well, here's the thing with the ambiguous ending with The Thing. With The Thing, think about it this way. And I don't know if you've seen the prequel yet or not, but in the prequel, they discuss that it can't, emulate artificial parts. So, for example, if you have a fake hip, or if you have fillings in your teeth, or if you have piercings or tattoos, it's not going to be able to copy that. And so as a result, when basically at the end of The Thing that you watch, you see both Childs and MacReady sitting there passing the bottle around, waiting for the temperature to drop and then for them to inevitably die. But if you pay close attention, both MacReady and Childs have some fillings. They have some piercings. Neither one of them is a thing. And I think if they did die at the end of it, that would be really sad. Now, John Carpenter, on behest of the studio, decided, was basically told, hey, you gotta film a true ending to this. People want a definite ending. So there is a definite ending out there. It's just that he showed the studio execs one thing, and then when the film came out to the public, he took that ending out. And basically it involves, you see Kurt Russell's character, MacReady, getting a blood test at the end of the film and finding out that he's okay and everybody's okay and happy ending. I'm guessing Childs didn't survive. But there's a lot that's not known about that ending. In fact, there was some extended versions of the film that came out on TV that few people ever saw. So yeah, I'd love to see if somebody finds that material sitting around somewhere and releases it to the public, because there were extended cuts. Kind of like with Halloween 2, that had extended cuts for the televised version, because obviously they had to cut out all the sex and violence. Is that canon, though? Well, it depends on your point of view. I mean, they made several comic books that actually had Universal's approval. Same way with the game. Even the game kind of hints that MacReady's still alive. In fact, in the game, at the end of it, spoiler alert, MacReady actually is the one that picks you up and saves you at the end of the video game. So, and it all depends on your view of canonicity. I believe that the director likes it and the director's A-okay with it, the original director, then yeah, it's canon. As far as Star Wars goes, I could care less what George Lucas thinks. He can go eat an ass, but as long as it's not mine. But the thing of it is that George Lucas, yeah, he kind of screwed us with the prequels. So he no longer has any say, and Disney's doing a wonderful job thus far. Granted, yes, we're only 2 movies in, but so far, bravo. I'm curious as to how they're going to do the whole Leia thing. Well, thanks. Yeah, I just happen to carry him higher nowadays. And man, Digo, that's alright. You're gonna have haters. Because if people don't hate on you and give you shit, that means you're not doing something. That means you're not changing the world. Because, hell, if somebody's hating on you, you're making a difference. You're doing better out there. I look at my haters and I love them so, so much. Hate on me all you like. You're still watching. You're still giving me that little view. You're still giving me your feedback. You're wasting your time on me, honey child. If you don't like it, go. But you're here, and you stay here, because you think you're going to agitate me. I'm ex-military. You can't agitate me. I've had people get in my face and scream at me. I've dealt with abuse. I've survived cancer. Ain't shit you can do to me. Yeah, I like CGI Tarkin. It brings up a lot of questions about CGI Tarkin. You know, like, what's right, you know? And it definitely changes how we gotta view the world and how basically we're going to continue to view, you know, our actors. Are we going to see, you know, carbon copies of people? I mean, it's pretty bad when you can see Bruce Lee in a whiskey commercial. I don't know how Bruce Lee would feel about that, in all honesty. You know, you've got Fred Astaire dancing with vacuums. You got that chick, what was her name, from Breakfast at Tiffany's in friggin' chocolate commercials. I mean, if they were still alive, would they be okay with it? I don't know. Peter Cushing was always kind of a really cool guy. I mean, come on, he took the Tarkin role when even Donald Pleasance turned it down. Yes, Donald Pleasance was going to be Tarkin. And, yeah, he shot it down. And, you know, here's Peter Cushing from Hammer movies. He decides to do it. And Peter Cushing's always been a class act. He was like the original Splat Pack. You had Peter Cushing, Vincent Price, and Christopher Lee. You know, wouldn't it have been wild if they had gotten like another Star Wars movie with, you know, Vincent Price in it? I would have loved that. But the thing of it is that, yeah, like this whole CGI thing with changing, basically, you know, making deceased actors still living, it brings up all kinds of new questions. Does it have an air of fakeness to it? A little. But it does definitely make you ask if it's going to be okay for them to do that with Leia. So hopefully we'll see what happens. Would I ever consider doing the weather? Not with my voice at the moment, I sound like hell. But yeah, I could definitely look at these clouds and shit. Yeah, it's kind of cool, but what happens after that 20 years with Robin Williams? I mean, is he going to be all over commercials? Oh, thanks, Burnsy. I appreciate it. I know Burns. I call him Burnsy all the time. He does like local Comic Cons around in this area, which is kind of cool. I always joke with him, go Burnsy, if you ever watch Ninja Turtles. So yeah, he's a cool cat. So anyway, with Burnsies, what's the deal with this Corey guy? He's all the time throwing a fit about me, and now he's bringing up the whole race card. What the hell, dude? Seriously, Corey, you're still here. You're still talking. You must like something, you see. Otherwise, you'd be gone. Most bitches leave. Shannon, I don't have to try. With your name, though, you might be able to excel out a little bit better than me. Just saying. Do I eat ramen noodles? Who the fuck doesn't eat ramen noodles? That's how you freaking survive. This closet is full of ramen noodles. Shit. Whatever. Fucking Jenkins, be gone. Be gone. I'm laughing at some of the typos here. Some grammar, some schooling might go a long way. You know, if y'all want to push your hate, little, conjunction, junction, what's your function? It helps. That's what I say, you know. Your haters are going to be the biggest inspiration, because your haters will let you know you're doing something right. Sorry, not sorry. That's the way that it is. Oh man, that's a good question. Do you really want me to answer that? I'm not going to answer that, Jazz Raz, because, yeah. Let's put it this way. I've lived quite a while. I've had to do some interesting things in my time. Play GTA 5. I don't even have GTA 5 right now. I might pick it up if I can find it cheap somewhere. But right now, I really haven't seen a price drop on it. If I go to a Redbox or if I go somewhere and I see it for like maybe 15 or 20 bucks, I'll pick it up. Like my biggest pickups right now, I picked up, damn hair. I picked up Little Big Planet recently for 12 bucks at Walmart. And I got a PlayStation TV for 20. Unfortunately, I ran an update on it, kind of fucked myself on turning it into an emulation machine. But yeah, like a $20 like PlayStation TV, that's not a bad deal because you figure you're getting a DualShock 3 controller and 2 games, and yeah, it was worthwhile. I'm gonna kill his hair. I'm gonna take scissors to it at some point. I could care less. You can do whatever you want, honey child. Ban me, yell at me, do whatever. I don't have to be on your feed. I'm still going. Nobody's kicked me off yet. I'm still on the air. Just block me and move on. Bye-bye. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. Yeah, GTA 5 is still 60. Boo-hoo. You know, how did you get them kids? I guarantee whoever helps you with getting them kids were a hell of a lot less than this. Just saying. Don't be a prude. I'm covered up more than most women that you'd see on the street, and probably most of the women that you take home. How long did I serve? Not very long, actually. I kind of blew out my back. I had some health issues. It was like a year. It was reserves. I was a finance officer. It wasn't anything bigger than big. My dad, in and of himself, he was basically an army man for life, so we were all over the country. So yeah, I have more than a little experience. I know, these people ain't getting to me. I could care less. If I was on here, like, messing around with somebody, I totally understand them being upset. But since I'm not, I got nothing to complain about. C'est la vie. Oh, I need locking up. Whatever's your kink, honey child, I'm just not gonna deal with you. Pretty much. I could care less. I've dealt with trolls. I've slayed trolls in my day. I have been a troll. You know, and yes, I open to the comments for that. But the thing of it is that you're not gonna troll me. Ain't gonna rickroll me, ain't gonna troll me. Don't care. I've survived a lot better things in a few words. Sticks and stones don't break me, honey child. In fact, people who have tried to break me have found that I'm pretty damn unbreakable, and then I usually do the breaking right back. Whatever. Ha. I've had survival training. I've done all kinds of stuff that you've never even dreamed about, so have that. Thanks, Murdoch. I like that name, actually. It kind of makes me think of either Matt Murdock or Murdoch from, was it Mad Dog Murdoch from the A-Team? I might be wrong. My memory's not as great as it was. Hey, what up? Love the handle. I know you're not the real deal. Great handle, though. Awesome. What you doing in Ireland? Thank you. Honey child, I can break anybody. And trust me, it won't be pleasant. Fury Road. Oh my goodness, Mr. Skeletal. Yes, I have seen Fury Road. I like it. Because I know a lot of people try to find connection in those movies and try to say, hey, this is how this lines up with basically the Mad Max trilogy. This is where this fits in, yada yada. It's just a movie. it does have value. It's a great film. I've watched it repeatedly because I love violence and I love destruction and I love all kinds of things. But it's a brilliant film. It's really great. It's good to see people go back to their roots. I'm glad to see younger Max again, which kind of made me happy. I'm hoping that we see more in the future. I mean, as well as this film did, of course, the sequel's got to come. But yeah, it's really great. Happy to see it happen. Actually, I did find a normal job. Thank you. And I've survived a lot of shit. Thank you. Corey Williams, dude, syntax, grammar, semantics, that make me really far in life. Ha! That's a long story, John Doe. Long story. Let's just put it this way. If you think this is scary, I can scare you. Yeah, what is normal? Exactly. Mr. Skeleton's got a point. Normal. It's all perspective. Going back to that whole labels thing. You know? And why does Jack Smacker keep repeating his name? Jack Smacker says this, and Jack Smacker... It's like frigging Sling Blade. Mm-hmm. Ought not have said them things. Mm-hmm. I'm not a Kevin. No. Hell no. And that's the thing. My dad was military. We weren't exactly from anywhere. I was born in Texas, and we moved all over the place. Right now, I live in a state that rhymes with Transylvania, if that helps. Michael, this is going to be up on YouTube, Michael Johnson. So if you want to watch the beginning of it, you'll be able to. We already kind of covered that question. I'm because unlike some of the unrealistic depictions that you see on television, not all of us are millionaires and can afford it. In fact, it's kind of a shameful thing when somebody can afford to have said surgery by being in prison, which I think is fucking wrong. Oh, boo-hoo. Boss, go collect your bounties. Get on the houndstooth and get the fuck out of here. Jack Smacker says, Jack Smacker, mm-hmm. Dude, go eat your taters, go eat your potted meat, and just go. Y'all don't scare me. Jack Smacker's a little mentally challenged. Mm-hmm. Weren't no bigger than a squirrel. I don't know what the hell I just did there. Everybody keeps talking about this band hammer. I ain't seen it yet. Come on. Show me. Make it happen. I don't see it. Yeah, if this was a David Letterman show, I want that paycheck, because that'd be fucking awesome. I'd break everybody eventually, John Joe. Yeah, it is kind of cool talking in third person. It's got that caveman feel to it. Fire, bad. Beer, good. Trump, awesome. Pretty much you guys is, your whole edicts in life, right? And Boss wants to really bring all sexuality into it. Now, I had your action figure when I was a kid. That was kind of funny. Yeah, they just want to hate. They're powerless. Powerless, petty, little people. And that's the thing. And it's funny, they all crumple like little paper bags when you spray them down with bear mace and fucking curb stomp them. Just saying. Unga bunga me like French fried tape.